This is example 6 on page 493, and it is an application problem. Anytime you do an application problem, you need to make sure that you read the problem, define the problem, make a sketch of the problem, write an equation, and solve the equation. Lots of times you'll have a picture already with the problem, but you want to practice making sketches without looking at the one that's provided, because you will have to do things probably in a career where you have to come up with the sketch yourself. So this one says to find the height of a tree, a person walks to a point 30 feet from the base of the tree. So here we are, and if I had started this one out, I probably would have just given myself a dot to show where I'm standing, and I would measure off 30 feet. So that's how I would start. I would say I'm 30 feet from the base of that tree. And, here I am, I'm standing here, I'm 30 feet from the base of the tree, which means that the tree is right here. So that's where they're getting their part of the picture. She measures an angle of 57 degrees between a line of sight to the top of the tree. Now, if I'm standing right here and I'm looking up at the tree, my line of sight is right here. So that's how they're getting that that's 57 degrees. It's between the top of the tree and the ground. So I'm looking at the top of the tree and I'm standing on the ground. That's how the wording's going to look. And it says find the height of the tree. So in the picture that you see here, you've got this height of this whole tree here. And you can see that assuming that a tree is straight, this would be a right angle when you're looking at this. So when you think about your trig functions, if you're trying to find the height of this tree, and we'll just call it x, we've got an angle here, we're looking for a side opposite, and we have a side adjacent. So when you think about your trig functions, opposite and adjacent would be the tangent trig function. So if I knew tangent of 57 degrees, which is side opposite over adjacent, I might be able to solve that problem. If I put a 1 under this and treat this as a proportion, I have tangent of 57 times 30 is going to be equal to x, because x times 1 is x. So if I just take my calculator and I punch in tangent of 57, so let's pull up my calculator. And it's degrees, so you want to make sure that your calculator is in the degree mode. So I'm just going to pull up my TI 30, and it says that it's in degree mode up here at the top. So I'm going to hit tangent of 57 degrees. I'm going to hit enter times 30. I'm going to hit enter. And it says 46.2 if I round. So let's go back and see what the problem says. The problem says just find the height of the tree. So 46.2, and this is in feet, so this would be in feet. So my height of my tree happens to be 46.2 feet. This is the key here, is making sure that you get it punched in correctly in the calculator and that you get your proportions set up correctly. So you're going to need to make sure that when you look at these problems and you get your drawing right, you want to make sure that if you have an opposite and an adjacent, you're doing tangent. If I had this side, if I knew what this one was, and I had the opposite and hypotenuse, I would be using sine. If I had just adjacent and hypotenuse, I would be using cosine. So you need to make sure that you have enough pieces to be able to solve a proportion. So you might want to do a little bit more practice on that. There will be a worksheet posted with some answers, so you might want to do a little bit of practice with that.